This channel is made possible by viewers like you. My viewers, subscribers, and patrons greatly help to keep this channel going. I wouldn't be here today if it wasn't for all of you. Please make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any uploads. And if you'd like to go the extra mile, please check out my Patreon page. For just $1 a month, you'll get access to what I'm working on, previews of upcoming content, and even early videos, along with other tier options for those that are interested. Thank you, and now on to the video. The Callisto protocol has had a few additional modes released following its launch. Some were free, like the New Game Plus mode. This was a nice addition, and honestly one that should have been there from the outset, because New Game Plus within these games is pretty standard. For example, these are the guys that made Dead Space, and the original Dead Space launched with a New Game Plus option right out of the gate. But even so, I was glad to see it available here. Then another free update was seen with the Hardcore mode. This is a nice addition as well that provides veteran players with another reason to jump back in and see if they can handle the higher difficulty. Dismemberment was another mode, making the game extremely easy. It felt more like a novelty of sort that is nice to kind of play around with. But the expansion pass content was supposed to bring much of the meatier content of sorts. And today I want to get into the Riot mode, and if this is something that is going to be worth your time. So what even is the Riot mode? Riot mode takes much of the mechanics, combat, enemies, and upgrades and throws this all into a brand new mode. On the surface, there's a lot to like here. This is one of those additional modes that I think helps to enhance the game, as it provides more replay value. And one that is good if you're not interested in playing the game again, but you want to experience much of the action from it again. Because you will have access to all the toys, and each of the enemy types will make an appearance as you try to survive. There are even some nice additions that are specific to this mode as well. Though in some ways I do take issue with this DLC. It is fun and might be my favorite of the expansion pass content, but it also could have been a lot more. So at the start of the mode, you will notice that it has a different feel and presentation to it than the rest of the game. For example, the HUD is much noisier to honestly fit the more arcadey setting. For example, you can easily see how much ammo you have, along with various other pieces of equipment, without needing to go into your inventory. This may seem a bit odd considering that the main game had that minimalist HUD, which worked great to really pull in the player. But for an arcadey mode like this, I'm happy they made the decision to display all of this info for you, to be able to see it easily. You start out with your baton, pistol, and shotgun. You are tasked with both surviving and increasing your score. This is an endurance mode, so if you've played any type of horde mode before, you're going to be right at home here. There are some other small changes that you will notice as you are starting out. For example, you won't need to worry about smashing dead enemies to get equipment from them while in Riot. The enemies do not drop anything, so when you see them, figure out how to take them out and then move on. Riot mode is pretty good for short or long play sessions. Riot mode is pretty fast-paced, especially compared to the campaign. It's pretty much action all the time, with some small moments to catch your breath between waves. You have a combo meter, and the more you can keep this up and keep your combo going, the more points that you will earn from enemy kills. The more points that you can earn will provide you with more credits to spend on various items. Yes, Riot mode features an economy system. Weapons and healing items are stationed all around the map, and just like in the main game, being properly armed will make a great deal of difference with how long you can survive. Also, Riot only lets the player carry one short gun and one long gun, so you need to choose wisely what you're going to have. Then again, you can come back and buy that weapon again if you end up changing your mind. You can also use your funds to upgrade your weapons and baton. This means you'll get higher capacities, more damage, and the special alternative fire. Something I really like about Riot is your rampage bar. This builds up as you attack enemies. Once full, you can go nuts on all of your enemies. With the power to instant kill, have infinite ammo, and infinite energy for your kinesis as well. Rampage is a blast, and you just cut through anything that comes at you. Riot mode is a lot of fun, and I even like how the fuses are used creatively, with you being able to use them to turn on various traps. There's also round-based objectives that will randomly pop up, and these provide a nice spin on the action. For example, you may need to get to a location within a time limit, find a secret stash, dodge a certain amount of attacks, kill a set of enemies without taking a hit, and more. This stuff is fun and adds appreciated randomness to the action, but after playing it for a while, it got me thinking that I think this mode could have been a fair bit better. For one, this mode only has one map. This is a piece of paid DLC, and I think considering that we are paying for it, 1, it should come with a bit more, and 2, it needs a few more maps. Now, if Riot mode was free, then I probably wouldn't be so hard on it, but when you are asking for extra, you need to bring that extra as well. I also think it was a missed opportunity to not include a 2-player co-op option for this mode. I wouldn't want the campaign to be 2-player, but something like this where it's all focused on the action would be perfect to enjoy with another person. Plus, it would greatly enhance the replay value. I do think it was a missed opportunity to not include some more related rewards like a shop. For example, say you earn some credits from playing Riot mode, and then you can use those credits within a shop to unlock new items. For example, why can't I unlock new character skins? This would be the perfect opportunity to let me play this mode as Elias, Danny, or other cast members. The developers could have even used this opportunity to put other unlocks in as well. Give us something to work towards. I think Riot mode should have come with more maps, or variations on the modes as well. You could make it all time-based, like something from Mercenaries, or maybe you go nuts with Rampage all the time. Or maybe you have a baton only or guns only variations. I also think this would have been a good opportunity to include some new enemy types, or ones we really didn't get to fight much in the main game, like maybe throw in some random human prisoners running around. My point with all of this is that yes, Riot mode is fun, but it feels like it could have been a lot more, considering that this was a paid piece of DLC. Riot mode is a pretty fun mode. I like the arcadey action, and it works well with the Callisto combat. And while the early rounds are rather easy, it does feel like the aggression with how the multiple enemies will attack you at once that was present in the launch version of the game is present here as well. So that was a nice surprise, since that keeps things more intense, especially as you get higher with the waves. But when you take a step back, the flaws and issues for the DLC are pretty obvious. Now, if this was a free update that provided a horde mode like this, then I would probably just praise it. But since this is a piece of paid DLC for $10 outside of the season pass, it feels like they could have done so much more with this. Again, a 2-player option would have been stellar for this mode, along with some sort of unlock system for all the time you can spend in Riot mode. But at the very least, it seems really weak that you were only provided 1 map for this mode. I think at least 3 would have been more appropriate. There are so many other environments from the game that just aren't used here. What about one set outside in the snow? Then you could incorporate some of the frozen enemies that jump out at you, or maybe have a room like the Elite room seen at the end of the game, or any of the other locations. So yes, Riot mode is fun. I actually spent a fair amount of time with it, but it honestly should have been just a bit more. I really enjoyed and loved the base game, but the DLCs need some work. Would I recommend Riot mode? I would, but on a sale. Have you played Riot mode? If so, what are your thoughts on it? Let me know all of it in the comments down below. If you're interested in being notified of new videos, please hit the subscribe button and bell. And if you would like to support the channel and get early access to content, please check out my Patreon. All of the links will be at the end of this video and within the description. And thank you very much for watching.